Yo, 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 yo. We back. We is back. We is back. We got paperwork. Sweet the flim flam, man. I don't know what would it be without flim flam. Where would the internet be? Yeah, man, because it's a lot of false narratives, man, put out there, man. Make sure you hit that like button. If you're watching it on the replay, hit the like button. Share the live. So anyway, we're gonna get the truth out there. 2800. What it is, man. I can't complain. Let me get something to drink. No, move. Stay outside. Dang, get no water. Back. But yeah, man, sweep the flim flam for the paperwork, y'all, because last couple days, yo, we were talking about the Durk situation, right? And I was confused because everybody was like, yo, they putting all these cases on Durk. And so I was thinking like they was trying to make that their case as like part of their indictment. Like, these are the things they're gonna introduce at court. Yo, but that's not what's going on, yo. What'd he say? Let's see what he said. Is it still on the? What he said? What he wrote on the store? Yeah. So what they're trying to do, y'all, is paint a narrative. Not even saying all these things are true. So what happened was, the fuck. What happened was, I believe the stage truth teller a while. Fuck you been up to? He got on his IG. What on the story? I don't see it on his IG. AYM. And that's exactly what they're doing. That's exactly what they're doing. Because the put all these, I'm gonna read the paperwork. It's crazy how they did this. So what they're attempting to do is they're trying to secure a unanimous jury. So this paperwork that everybody is talking about, This paperwork that everybody's talking about. Oh, he said free smirk. It's a declaration. It is, bro. It's a declaration from a federal agent, basically like a sworn statement. And what he is doing is he's going through some of the crimes that OTF members committed. These ain't co-conspirators, like Mickey Truth was trying to present. You understand? Well, I didn't get that far down the paperwork, so I can't actually say that yet. But what I can say is the paperwork that everybody is speaking on, where they reference Duck, where they reference the Chicago shit, where they reference Boney. I don't know them niggas. Boney. I don't know them niggas. But when they mentioned the dude that kidnapped the guys, the Mexican kid in Atlanta, all that is about the reasons why. Basically, what they're doing is they're trying to paint OTF out to be a dangerous criminal organization, and this is the reason why we need an anonymous juror. It's not in paperwork. It's not like a statement of facts. You understand what I'm saying? This is not evidence that they're going to produce at trial, but it is bullshit. You understand what I'm saying? It's bullshit because they're putting it out to the public. Like this paperwork should have been sealed. Durk lawyer should have tried to, Drew Finland and them, they should have tried to get this sealed. You know, because it paints a negative image. But let me read it, cause my phone ready to die. And my computer ready to die. I might gotta go downstairs. Alright. The guy named, can y'all see that? We might gotta go downstairs. Let's go downstairs. The guy name is Jaron. He's an FBI agent, and I guess he's from out of Chicago. And what he's doing is explaining to the court as to why they need an anonymous jury. But that's not the perception that was put out there about this paperwork. The perception that was put out there about this paperwork is, yo, Durk done. Man, they accusing him of all this, da-da-da-da-da-da-da. And I'm like, yo, how that don't even make sense because they should be indicting him on some of these things as opposed to just accusing him. But yo, I'm not related to George Floyd. I don't know why I think that just because you black, you support George Floyd. Like, why y'all think that? Who the fuck told you that? Who told you that all black people support George Floyd? Cause I was one of the people that was telling people George Floyd shit was a play. That bitch dead. The fuck? Bitch wasn't dead when I walked downstairs. But let me go grab a charger. Grab a charger cord. This phone ready to die. Yeah, they pushing lies. Some of them pushing lies, and some of them just don't know how to read paperwork. What's up, Sharice? How you feeling? You ready to get busy? I said, my fucking computer died. And my phone is dying. Yeah, but they pushing false narratives, man. Yeah, they did try with the stuff on that key. What the fuck, this shit ain't charged? I gotta get another charger cord. Alright, so. There we go. Can anybody see that? That shit got blurry. The fuck? Hold on, y'all. What do you say? Why the fuck is it? Alright. So like I said, this is a declaration as to the reasons why the feds are saying Durk needs unanimous jury. So the guy name is John Farnby. Declare as follows: I'm a special agent with the Federal Bureau of Investigations. I have knowledge of the facts set forth herein and could and would testify to those facts fully and truthfully if called and sworn as a witness. Because I'm making this declaration for the limited purpose of addressing issues raised in the government's motion to impanel an anonymous jury, I have not included every fact known to me concerning this investigation. So all that is redacted. He probably just going through his history and you know, his history as being an agent, cases he worked on, shit like that. I think that's probably what that's at. Based off the introductory, you know, because you don't start off like this and just start going into other details. That's just him probably going through his history. Based on my review of an FBI criminal history report for defendant DeAndre Wilson, defendant Wilson was convicted in Illinois State Court of misdemeanor possession of a firearm on or about October 1st, 2010. Also know that Wilson was charged with a 2014 murder in Louisiana State Court and was found not guilty in or around July 2023. Based on my review of an FBI criminal history report for defendant Asa Houston, defendant Houston was convicted in Illinois State Court of at least the following: armed carjacking on or about March 3rd, 2020. Aggravated battery with great bodily harm on or about July 13th, 2011. Felon in possession of a firearm on or about March 5th, 2008, May 8th, 2017, and August 22nd, 2023. Based on my review of certified conviction records for blank, blank was convicted in blank court, state court of whatever, on or about. So this is somebody that's a co-conspirator that they're not naming. Based on my review of an FBI criminal history report for only the family. So this probably, if they went through, this could be either Boney or Bone. Why them niggas all got the same name? Or this could be Flocka. But I don't know why would they blank their name out. But who knows? Only the family OTF associate blank was convicted in Illinois State Court of aggravated battery with a firearm on or about blank. Based on my review of FBI criminal history report for OTF associate blank and open source research, we arrested blank was arrested in or about and charged with, among other things, murder, kidnapping, and armed robbery. Based on a conversation with law enforcement, agents with knowledge of Chicago-based gangs and open source research, yo, this open source research, man, people gotta stop talking on the internet. That's what Trenches News is here for. Trenches News is here to provide open source research on Chicago gang activity or just people in Chicago in general. I know that Marcus Smart, aka Muap, is a member of the O Block Street Gang and associated with defendant Banks and OTF, including having appeared in at least 2 of Banks' music videos. What's up, Turn? On or about January 17, 2024, Smart was convicted by a grand jury of racketeering offenses, including murder, in the Northern District of Louisiana. Attached as Exhibit A is a true and correct copy of an audio message seized from a phone belonging to blank and sent to blank from a number associated with OTF associate blank. Based on my review of an FBI 302 documented an interview with blank on blank, I know that blank stated the following. Man, this somebody telling. I don't know who the fuck that is. Yeah, but Albert, it ain't no, so far for what I read, ain't no proof that Bona or Boney or all of these got the same name, whatever the fuck their names is the one is snitching. Like Mickey Truth tried to push over there. Attached as Exhibit B under seal is a true and correct copy of a report from the Bureau of Prisons documenting defendant Banks' possession of a contraband Apple Watch. As noted in Exhibit A, defendant Banks attempted to damage and or destroy the device when he was caught with it. Based on FBI investigation, including data provided by Apple, I know that the serial number of the watch seized from Banks' person shows that the device was associated with the Verizon cellular network, was purchased on May 26, 2025, and was activated the next day. Thus, the device permitted defendant Banks and possibly others to have unknown numbers of unmonitored communications. Based on my review of an FBI report from on or about March 6, 2025, and recording of 4 voicemails left on the Central District of California United States Magistrate Judge Chambers line on or about February 22nd, 2025, I know that the individual states, among other things, that defendant Banks and Wilson are innocent, and that if they get life, I'm going to burn this motherfucker down. Burn it to the ground. It's not a game, bitch. Based on my involvement in the investigation and review of relevant reports, I know that in April 2025, United States Assistant Attorney Yanello received a phone call on his desk line from an unknown male caller who began making threats to the United States Attorney, which caused the United States Attorney to begin recording the call. During the call, the unknown male caller stated, "Free Durk, or we're going to shoot that motherfucker up." United States Attorney responded, "Shoot who up?" To which the caller said, "Shit, your ass. I declare under penalty of perjury under the laws of the United States of America that the foregoing is true and correct, and that this declaration is executed at Los Angeles, California, October 6, 2025. So what they did was try to go through Durk motion to seal. Government motion to seal. Let's see what this is. See, but this is the dirty games that they play. They don't want to seal that, but they want to seal. They don't want to seal information that could taint the jury. You know what I mean? But for whatever this is, they want this to be sealed. What the fuck is this? Paid for the United States of America by and through its counsel of record. The Act United States Attorney for the Central District of California and Assistant United States Attorney Ivan Yanello, Gregory Staples, Daniel Weiner, hereby applies ex parte an order directing the government unredacted motion to impanel. So that look. So they released it. So that's this. That's what we just read. What date was this filed? Yo, so they released it. Now they want to seal it. You see what I'm saying? You see the dirty tactics? So they released this document, and now they want to seal the same document. Hereby implies an ex parte for order directing that the government's unredacted motion to impanel anonymous jury, unredacted declaration of John Farley, and Exhibit B to the Farley Declaration and the above entitled case be kept under seal until further order of the court. That don't even make sense, y'all. Fuck is Exhibit B at? Okay. So they released all of this. So they want this under seal. So they released all of this information. But they want all of this sealed. These people crazy, man. The plaintiff of the United States of America requests that this court seal the government's motion to impanel an anonymous jury, unredacted declaration of John Farley, and Exhibit B. So they sealed Exhibit B. Well, this not unredacted. They released it, but they redacted some certain information. The government has publicly filed redacted versions of its motion to impanel anonymous jury and declaration of John Farley to protect sensitive witness information and other sensitive information. The court has inherently supervised the authority to seal documents in appropriate circumstances. That matter would just seal the whole thing. See all this? That's what they doing. So they only want to release what they want you to see. And them releasing this part of the document, like, why release all of this? You might as well seal the whole thing. Durk lawyer should have kept this under seal. That's what the fuck Durk lawyer should have did. He should have said, well, fuck it, put the whole thing under seal. But then people would have been like, yo, Durk telling his lawyer trying to seal documents. You feel me? That's probably why he do it. Durk lawyer asked to seal documents. You know how the internet be. Yo, Durk snitching. The whole time, no, he trying to seal documents that could be damages to the case. You feel me? They should have got this whole thing sealed, man. Should have got the whole thing sealed. I don't even think this nigga even want to testify at trial. We'll see though. Here are the reasons described in the attached declaration. Sealing of these documents necessary to protect certain criminal history records and identify identity of witnesses who participate in the government's investigation, who may testify at trial, and or whose safety or whose family safety may be endangered by disclosure of identifying information. He should have got the whole shit sealed. All right, so this is the declaration of Daniel H. Weiner. Declares as follows. I am an assistant United States attorney for the Central District of California, and I am one of the attorneys assigned to the prosecution of United States versus Durk Banks. I make this declaration in support of the government's unopposed ex parte application for order of sealing the government's unredacted motion to impanel anonymous jury, unredacted declaration of Jerron Farley, and Exhibit B to the Farley Declaration. The government requests leave to file those documents under seal. The above described documents discuss and or contain certain sealed and or expunged criminal history records, the criminal history records of non-charged individuals, and identifying information of witnesses who participated in the government's investigation, who may testify at trial, and or whose safety or whose family safety may be endangered by disclosing or identifying information. Sealing of these documents is therefore desirable to protect certain individuals' privacy interests. And because the government believes that public disclosure of such information may endanger the witnesses and or their family safety and could cause others to attempt to intimidate the witnesses and or their families or otherwise dissuade the witnesses from cooperating with the government. According to the government's request that the government's unredacted motion to impanel anonymous jury, unredacted declaration of John Farley and Exhibit B to the Farley Declaration be kept under seal until further order by the court. Counsel for the defendant advised the government during a telephonic telephonic meet and confer on October 1st that they had no objection to the government's request. They should have objected to this. They shouldn't have let that get released. They shouldn't have let that get released. But Durk motion to dismiss and disqualify Drew Finley. Oh yeah, this we already read this about that state's attorney. Yeah, that ain't gonna work. This ain't about a whole bunch of case law. Yeah, we already read that. The fuck is this? This case involves a well-funded and organized attempt to kill one of the defendant's bank's rivals at a busy gas station in Los Angeles in broad daylight. 3 shooters opened fire, including with a machine gun. Missing their intended target but killing SR, the government will prove at trial that all 7 co-conspirators were affiliated with Durk Bank's organization, Only the Family. 5 were OTF members, and 2 were recruited by defendant Wilson and promised a handsome reward to help kill their target. Like, they keep saying it was promised, but they don't never say nobody was paid. They don't never say nobody was paid. And they still haven't provided, at least to the defense team, this promise. When was this promise made? How much money was promised? They still haven't provided that information to the defense team. To ensure a fair trial, prevent improper attempts to influence jurors, and to otherwise protect the judicial process, the government requests that the court order the impanelment of an anonymous jury. All factors the court must consider weigh heavily in favor of jury anonymity in this case. First, the murder in this case was not an isolated act of violence committed by OTF or its members. In recent years, OTF members and associates have committed other brazen murders, assaults, and violent crimes. Second, as this court has already emphasized, defendant Banks, the leader of OTF, uses his money, influence, and power to endanger individuals who he perceives as a threat. Defendant vast resources, coupled with the expensive reach and violent nature of OTF, further justifies additional safeguards to keep the jury free from intimidation and harassment. Indeed, defendant supporters have already threatened government officials to free Durk or face retribution. The jury must protect from similar misconduct. I don't know who the fuck made them phone calls. That was dumb as shit. Additionally, from its inception, this murder case has garnered an extreme amount of media attention that will increase as trial approaches. This case is therefore the precise circumstance where heightened measures are needed to secure the jury's safety and safeguards its fact-finding mission from improper influence. The government's proposal narrowly seeks to anonymize certain confidential information from which jurors' identity can be ascertained without compromising the scope of information necessary for fair and fulsome video. Specifically, the government requests that the names, addresses, and specific places of employment not be revealed the public or parties, including counsel, to ensure all parties can meaningfully engage in video. That's basically just jury selection. The government has agreed to work with the defense to propose a thorough jury questionnaire. Thus, both the government and the defendant will have ample information from which to make meaningful decisions and changes during the video process. So more than likely, they're going to do them like how they did Puffy. And just be, so what we learned in the Diddy trial is they can strike jurors, at least eight jurors, without no explanation. And in Diddy trial, the United States government struck 7 black jurors just cause. No explanation, just cause. I would expect they do the same type of things in this trial. So this is going through the reasons, going through case law, why they think anonymous jury need to be granted. They're gonna give it to them. They get the federal government everything they ask for, man. That's why it's so hard beating these people. It's like you fighting an uphill battle. Minimizing. The fact findings. Okay, let's read this. Defendants' connections to organized criminality and payment for violence. First and second factors. Defendants' involvement with organized crime and the group's capacity to harm jurors strongly weigh in favor of jury protection and anonymity. As alleged in the second superseding indictment, defendant Banks is the leader of Only the Family, or OTF. While OTF is in part a rap group, several of its members and associates have a history of extreme violence, including murder. For example, in 2024, 6 members of O-Block Street Gang, including OTF associate Marcus Smart, aka Muwap, were convicted of racketeering offenses that included the murder of Chicago rapper Carlton Weekly, aka FBG Duck. Federal murder for hire charges are also currently pending against 2 defendants who are allegedly motivated to kill by OTF payments. These murders and the other violent crimes committed by defendants and other prominent OTF members, formerly, you already read his shit, show compelling need for anonymous jury, in this case due to strong link between OTF and organized violence. Yeah, so they talking about Stephon Mack murder. But they're not saying charges dependent for Durk. They saying charges dependent because they ain't go to trial yet. So the charges are still pending. What's up, Queen? The charges are still pending until, the case finds a resolve. But Trich's News took this as, look, charges are pending for Durk. They never say charges are pending for Durk. They say charges are pending for 2 members. Where they say that at? Federal murder for hire charges are also currently pending against 2 defendants who were allegedly motivated to kill by OTF linked payments. But they already admitted that they're not charging Durk in that Chicago case. I mean, they can always double back, but they did say that. All right. So, impaneled an anonymous jury where defendants commit robbery and murder as members of a violent street gang whose members and associates are suspected of multiple shootings and killings, as well as other violent crimes, including but not limited to murder, robbery, bank robbery, burglary, drug trafficking, and firearms possessions. Just like the head of a typical street gang, defendant Banks exerts considerably influence over his associates while attempting to insulate himself from their street level criminality. A seized audio message between two OTF associates demonstrate this hierarchy. In this message, a prominent OTF associate explains that when people call Banks for money, he gives out 500, 600,000 to the streets, including funding his co-conspirators. An audio message. The fuck nigga did that shit on Instagram? Like, oh, niggas be saying anything, yo. That's crazy. Um, Including funding his co-conspirators, sliders, slang for stolen cars used to commit crimes. The associate describes how Banks controls and influences their operation, that Banks wants to know who's in charge of what first. That's how that's how he wants shit done. He want it done right. He want people to get sliders and stuff like that for sure, but he want people to know what's going on, so it can be a real structured situation. Blood not no more little boy shit. His further details how defendant Banks' money comes with a price. That this shit is going to get done right, where people gonna get blamed for their own fuck ups. That structure explains why defendant Banks warned an OTF associate as the purchase flights for co-conspirators to travel to Southern California to commit the murder at issue in this case. Don't book no flights under no names involved with me. Ah, man, that's loose. That is a loose justification of that. That's loose. So that's how they justify this indictment. By somebody who sent somebody an audio message saying that he want things done right and everybody's gonna be in control of their own fuck ups. So they took that as to say, look, well, that justifies why he said don't book no flights under no names involved with me. Guess you could say that, yeah, but that's still loose. The allegations in this case and evidence collected during the investigation further show that defendant Banks uses his power and influence over OTF to promote violence against his rivals and others who stand in his way. The superseding indictment alleges that 6 hitmen, OTF members, and 2 individuals recruited by defendant Wilson flew. So now it's 8 people. And so it's 8 people. Flew across country at the direction of defendant Banks to exact revenge on his rivals. After stalking the intended victim for nearly a day, 3 hitmen opened fire. But SR death is not an isolated example of defendants directing OTF violence. Explaining mafia structure, including that gang had numerous associates who aspired to become members and were willing to commit crimes on the Mexican mafia behalf in hopes of attaining membership. Quoting an associate mantra that if the mafia has any enemies, that they're also my enemies. He is alleged to have placed additional bounties on individuals that he and OTF members wanted to kill. So here they going back to the lyrics. Oh shit, hold up. How long that shit got blurred, y'all? Banks has embraced his penchant for bounties in his music. Rapping, for example, I don't want no niggas who you catch. I want the one I paid for. Trolling ass, who shot your homie? Gucci Man rumors. Scorman's ass featuring Boney Mo. Available, what'd you say? Available at YouTube. Popping traffic. We in Cali riding through Beverly Hills with choppers. Down to see the oppers. Bounty hunter. He ready to crack. That little bitch get down. Yeah, whatever. And yet another federal murder file case in Chicago involving the death of SM. Banks was alleged to have offered money for people to kill those responsible for his brother's murder, and more specifically, offering to pay money for any gangster disciple that is killed. Indeed, just 2 weeks following the murder of SM, the suspected leader of a faction of gangster disciples, the alleged shooter discussed payment from OTF and defendant banks. Alleged shooter tested another alleged shooter. What's up with OTF? What you mean? They not paying? Did Durk give you that money? Moreover, defendant banks has threatened to unleash his OTF associates to stalk and hunt his rivals. For example, in a seized text message thread between defendant Banks and other OTF members, including defendant Wilson, Banks boasted about threatening a rival, telling him, "I got them hunting your ass. Better have 3 ski masks." But Shorty denied that. He's saying free smirk. In a similar thread, defendant Banks and his OTF associates discussed defendant Banks' heated exchange with another rival, with defendant Banks telling his associates, "I'm finna pipe it up," a common street reference used of a firearm. You see what I'm saying? You see how they just make things be? Yo, pipe it up can mean anything. I'm ready to turn it up a notch. I'm ready to drop a mixtape. Yo, they literally, what's up, JB? Yo, they literally can make your words mean anything. Yeah, I never heard pipe it up being a common street reference to the use of a firearm. Have anybody ever heard that? Pipe it up, man, yo, we're going to use a firearm? In response, the OTF associate agreed to follow defendant Banks' lead, exclaiming blood is green, emoji of a car and traffic light, getting shit together now, no phones, referring to a green light to act on defendant wishes for violence. The above described structure of the criminal side of OTF. Hereof are those scoomers as does not appear to have been officially released by defendant. The lyrics are authentic as the government seized the audio file from a co-conspirator's cellular phone pursuant to the federal search warrant. Defendant Banks funded in considerable wealth, the power and control he exerts over his associates, his desire to seek revenge on those who cross him, and his associates' willingness to do what they are told, all show they need a need for anonymous jury in this case. Defendant Banks has repeatedly shown his disdain for the judicial process and witnesses who may cooperate with the government. It is therefore not surprising that witnesses' inference has already occurred and is likely to continue in this case. Such inference weighs strongly in favor of jury anonymity. Banks has made it clear his contempt for cooperating witnesses on a popular podcast that currently has over 1 million views. Banks exclaimed, "I hate all rats." He elaborated, if you tell, I hate you, like with a passion. That made me who I am today. That took half of my life away. Motherfucker telling on my pops. So I really hate rats with a real passion. Like, I hate you. Bad. I'm looking to the camera. I hate fucking rats. That's DJ Academic's interview. Given Banks' local scorn for those who may cooperate with the judicial process, it is predictable that suspected witnesses in this case have already been subject to threats and intimidation. Now, remember I told y'all DJ Academics changed this title. So when Durk got booked, DJ Academics took this video down and changed the title to Lord Durk Realest Interview Ever. Last interview on Off the Record. DJ Academics work with the police, man. Keep trying to tell y'all that these niggas work with the police. Y'all can think it's a game. Keep watching them niggas. Keep supporting them niggas. Niggas work with the police. All right. Explaining that members of the Mexican Mafia maintain a code of silence, obligated members testifying in court to deny the existence of and membership in the Mexican Mafia. One of the defendants' group tenets was to murder or attempt to murder members of suspecting of informant authorities. To start, one of Banks' trusted OTF sources already threatened a suspected government witness, specifically The OTF associate told the witness family member that the suspected witness was a snitch, a snake, and was not for the family. Redacted an undoubted reference to Banks, only the family. That's under seal. Such threats to witnesses, even when committed by defendant's associates, are precisely the type of conduct. So they was painting this narrative that Durk threatened the witness. So the whole time it was somebody else that threatened the witness. But who says Durk even told him to do that? They got proof of that? Maybe they do. They got it under, whatever it is under seal. Such threats to witnesses, even when committed by defendant's associates, are precisely the type of conduct that justify enhanced jury safety and produces to ensure the jury can fulfill its duties without improper outside influence. Yo, why my fucking screen keep getting fucking like that, yo? It's fucking stupid. So this is redacted. Threaten a witness. In a state case, the witness intimidation in this case is not limited to class 9 communication. So they said there was a witness threatened in the state case. Oh, that's just redacted. The public speculation about potential witnesses has already had significant consequences. Public mention of reprisal against suspected witnesses shows the reasonable inference that a jury may fear that their identities could be disclosed online, exposing them to threats from individuals who are not directly associated with defendant. We already read your shit. Defendant Banks has also shown a repeated disrespect and willingness to impede the judicial process despite admonishments from 2 courts about phone violations at Los Angeles MDC. Defendant Banks has escalated his defiance of BOP rules that keep witnesses and others safe. In late August 2025, BOP officials seized the Apple Watch capability from defendant. Even more troubling is Banks' conduct after he was caught. Rather than accept responsibility for this violation, the defendant allegedly obstructed the investigation, attempting to damage and or destroy the communication device. Explaining the defendant's disrespect, if not outright contempt, for the purposes by which the charge against him will be resolved, surely strengthens the case for impaling an anonymous jury, where defendant refused to permit officials to execute DNA warrants and engage in appropriate courtroom behavior. Indeed, although the government continues to investigate Banks' possession and use of communication devices, initial data associated with the serial number of the watch shows that the device was purchased. We already read that. National news has extensively covered each step of this case, including defendant's arrest, defendant Banks' detention hearing, even more routine and mundane filings like the latest stipulation to continue the trial. The case has also received substantial attention on social media, including in-depth analysis of case by legal channels. Defendant Banks has also chosen to further publicize the case by having defense counsel participate in interviews and by using defendant's social media account with over 15 million files to falsify claims that the government is using this case to criminalize defendant for his creativity in art. Such extensive coverage understandably underscores by defendant notoriety and the premeditated murder at issue in this case heavily weighs in favor of additional judicial safeguards to protect the jury and preserve the integrity of the trial. See, that's the thing that be tripping me out about the feds, man. They, they do the same things that they accuse the defense of doing, but when the defense do it, they try to slander them or make it seem like they doing something wrong. Like, yo, you go back to this document. They released all this information about all these crimes that other people committed, but didn't redact none of it. But the part they didn't run out, they redacted it. But when they say Durk sent his lawyer on motherfucking a campaign run, basically going on interviews, speaking out about the case and how the government doing them, that's in violation. These motherfuckers terrible, man. Okay, my phone died. But the point I was, the whole point of that video, because people was relaying that information like they was using that against Durk at trial. But all the information we just read was just for them to try to get an anonymous juror. Now, that detectives, he said he would testify to these things, but I don't even think that'd be allowed in court. You understand what I'm saying? All of that, I mean, they probably could, but we'll see. But that was the basis of those documents. Those documents was to establish a unanimous jury. It wasn't saying that, Durk did all of these things. It was going through some of his associates and say, look, this is a dangerous criminal organization. This is why we need an unanimous jury. That's the, what is it, not unanimous, anonymous jury. So that's what that was all about. But y'all, I gotta get ready to go to work. And make sure I hit that like button. Hopefully YouTube let us out the basement in the next couple days. They've been swindling us for a while now, at least 2 weeks. But it is what it is. Share the live, hit the like button. It's another day keeping you news, and I'm out.